Okay. You can put your hands down now, sit comfortably, because just say a few words to begin this Monday meditation retreat. Of course, the first thing I'd like to say is that this retreat is the retreat of peace and happiness. One of the famous teachings of the Buddha. First of all, can you hear at the back? You put your hands up in the back if you can hear. Okay, you can't really hear. Is that any better? Can you put your hands up if you can hear at the back? Okay, good. Okay, just to say a few words about the meditation and the retreat we're going to be doing here in the next 9 days. The Buddha actually made a very, very strong point that without happiness there's no success in meditation. You may remember that the Buddha's first teaching, what was the Buddha's first teaching? Who knows the Buddha's first teaching? Middle way, yes. Before even the Four Noble Truths. In the first sermon of the Buddha, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the first teaching which he gave, it started off with the middle way, to avoid extremes. Now sometimes we can be too ascetic, sometimes we can be too indulgent. And how you know the difference is when you have an ease of the body, a comfort of the body, so that you don't need to worry too much with aches and pains in the body. Because that is what the Buddha meant by the middle way. So we have a retreat here where it is very comfortable. You have cushions there to sit on, and later on, if at any time of the day you find your body is very sore, I'm going to allow you to use the chairs to sit meditation on. You can even put some of the chairs which are stacked up just on the side, so if you're very sore, please use the chairs. If anybody thinks that no, you can't become enlightened sitting on a chair, the next time you go on pilgrimage to India, where many of you go, you can actually look around Sariputa's Chaitya and see on the carvings on the outside, made many centuries ago, you'll see there a picture, a carving in stone of the Buddha sitting on a chair. So I tell you, you try and make yourself better than the Buddha by sitting on the chair all the time. Even the Buddha, out of compassion, so by sitting on the ground all the time, the Buddha, out of compassion, sat on a chair as an example for us that if it gets very sore, sit on a chair. Because if the mind, if the body is not peaceful, if the body is not comfortable, you'll find fighting with pain, that all you'll be meditating on is pain. And then you'll find that your struggle will not be able to give you liberation of the mind. There'll be a fight, there'll be a battle. And you know what happens when you have fighting or battle. You have what is said in newspapers, collateral damage. In other words, you don't get peaceful, you don't get into meditation, even your mindfulness starts to wane. And moreover, your inclination, your love of meditation starts to disappear. So it's important to keep that middle way. The chairs are there for sitting on when you get sore. It also means that during this meditation retreat, we like you to try and keep quiet. In my meditation retreats, we call it no-bell silence. And you know what no-bell silence means in my retreats? It means there's no bells. We don't ring the bell in our meditation retreat. That's what I call no-bell silence. And if you're very lucky, you'll have no-bell peace prize, which is But here we do have a schedule. If you have a small retreat like the ones I teach in Australia, then you don't need bells. But here you have to, because you've got so many people, you have to have a structure. So we do have that structure. So try and keep it the best you can. If it's time for sitting, sit down. But if it gets sore, sit in a chair. That in this retreat is allowable, out of compassion. If you sit in a chair, you can't sleep in the chair, nor can you sleep on your cushion over there. So try and keep that awareness and that mindfulness. During the retreat, I'll be encouraging you, teaching you the techniques to get deeper and deeper into meditation. The retreats which I've been teaching over many, many years have been very successful. Sometimes people who haven't liked meditation before have changed their attitude and they've gone away really loving the meditation. So much so that they've become constant meditators every day. They'd rather give up their food than give up their meditation because it's enjoyable, it's profound, and it gives them much insight and wisdom of life. But not more than that you get some great insights and understandings about the nature of the mind and the nature of life, in particular about the nature of happiness. The deeper one goes in one's meditation, the more one sees. And this is why we have, in this type of meditation, it's called insight meditation. The opposite of insight meditation is called excite meditation, and you get too excited. There's no excitement here with insight, which means looking in. So the whole part of meditation is learning how to look within. To go deeper and deeper inside, away from the world, away from your family, away from time, away from your body, going deeper in to oneself. And you'll find this will be the general theme of this retreat, is going in, seeing in, out. Not seeing any surface of things, not seeing the packaging of life, but seeing what's in the center of everything. This way of going inwards is going against the stream, the Buddha said. The stream of the world is always to go out and on to the next thing. That's sometimes called expectation. Always going out. Here in this retreat, it's not expectation, it's inspectation. Inspecting, not expecting. You understand? So look inside. Don't look the next moment. And I'm mentioning this at the very beginning of the retreat because it's just at this time when you come here and you may have all these resolutions, you may have all these expectations, you may have all these demands of what you want to get out of this retreat. It's not what you want to get out of this retreat, it's what you can let go of in this retreat. This is important. We meditate not to attain, we meditate to abandon, to let go. Please remember that. If you're trying to attain something, if you're trying to get somewhere, it means you're not being where you are. And the truth, the secret of life, does not live out there. It lies right in this body and mind, in this moment, in this experience of now. In this meditation, I'm going to encourage you to be more accepting of the present moment, more accepting of this, and to see when there's an embracing of the present moment, when there's a non-fighting and making peace with every moment, no battling, you'll find that the nature of the mind is to go inwards, to go to the source, what's called in Buddhism, Yomasa Manasikara, which literally means, according to the Pali, work of the mind, which goes back to the womb, to the source, to the Dhamma. Now this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to go inward, in. And that's the reason why we do have silence. Whenever you start speaking with someone else, you're sending your mind in the wrong direction. You're sending it out. Whenever you start expecting or planning, you're sending the mind out into the future. When you start remembering, going off into the past, you're sending the mind out from the present moment into what's happened before. So please, wipe the slate clean. No past, no future. No talking. Allow the mind to get centered. Go in. And as you do this, you'll be quite surprised with patience how easy this is. It's easy for two reasons. First of all, it's easy because you don't have to do the meditation. You literally have to get out of the way and let the meditation happen. When I first became a monk with Ajahn Brahm, there was a strange thing he said to me again and again and again. He said that this monastery is like an orchard, like a mango grove. And he said the mangoes have already been planted. The fruit's already on the trees. You monks don't have to do anything. All you need to do is to stop, wait, and let the mangoes fall. I couldn't understand what he meant for many years. What do you mean? I'm a monk. I have to strive. I have to struggle. I have to do something. Many years later, when I understand what meditation really was and how it worked, I understood what a beautiful teaching that was about how in this meditation retreat, all you need to do is to sit here, do little, do nothing at all, and the mango drops right into your palm. This is called letting go. Going against craving, making peace, allowing stillness to seep in so you can start to see things as they truly are. And the wonderful thing about this is it's easy because you don't have to do anything, and when it starts to work, you realize that ease comes into the mind, and ease and a freedom which you've never experienced before. Wow, it feels so good. The ease is the beginning of happiness. The inner happiness which great meditators exude. One of the reasons is that why I stayed with a monk like Ajahn Brahm. He was the happiest man I've ever seen. When you see someone happy like that, you want to know the secret. Okay, you might want to philosophize. You might want to argue. You might want to ask what's the best religion or what's the best thing to do, but look, when you see the results, then you know what you want. If anyone is enlightened, if they've abandoned suffering, how can they be miserable? The sign of an enlightened one is their happiness. If nirvana is the ultimate happiness, surely the monks who have attained nirvana should be the happy one. So, if you want to be on the path to nirvana, see if you can follow the path of happiness, inner happiness. And it happens. As you're meditating more and more, you get more and more happy. You have a routine. Certain times you have to sit meditation. You have a time for breakfast, a time for lunch. The lunch is optional. So is the breakfast. Now I say this because in all of my retreats, there's one or two characters who decide from this lunch. They don't do it because they plan to. They don't expect to. But it happens when you follow this path. But sometimes you'll be sitting there and things become very still. They get very peaceful and very enjoyable. So much so, when it comes to 11 o'clock when we have lunch, the mind makes a decision. Why do I want to give up lunch? And I've got such happiness, such profound state of mind. You'll find that at times you just don't want to get up. You can't get up. And you sit right through. If that happens, please allow the happiness, the peace to come to be with it. Don't throw it away. You can eat lunch any time. You can always have breakfast. When you get to a deep state of happiness and bliss, don't throw those away. Know the stuff which are going to lead you to enlightenment. Anyway, it's natural. If you get to those states, it's not a choice. You just carry on. Now imagine that. You're sitting and it's so much fun. You can't even concern yourself about lunch, even though you know you're not going to eat for another day. This is when the meditation starts to get really fun. And with those deep meditations, you really start to get powerful insights, deep insights into the nature of attachment, into the nature of you. You have teachings of the Buddha, like rebirth. In my retreats, the people get very deep. I ask them to remember their past life. I will be teaching that in this retreat. Not many of you will be able to do that, but now and again, somebody gets deep enough, they can do these things. Now that's an insight which is very rare, to prove for yourself that this thing about rebirth actually is true. Because many religions can teach the truth. Only a few religions say many, many lies. Now actually you can prove for yourself which of these religions is true. The truth to be seen, each wise person for himself. Now you're doing it. You also understand the law of karma. In those deep meditations, this wonderful teaching of non-self, of anatta, emptiness, sunyata, which you heard about, which you read about, which is expressed in all the major traditions of Buddhism. Not just Theravada, in the Mahayana, the Heart Sutra. You're finding out where those teachings come from and where they all come together in the emptiness of non-self. In this retreat, I'm going to take you right to the depths of Buddhism, to the heart of it. When I give talks, like I've just been doing in Singapore, I tell a lot of jokes. I make people laugh. In the retreat, I want to make people not laugh. I want to make people enlightened. So, this retreat is going to be deep. We will see things you never seen before. Understand things you never expected. Maybe you might remember the past life. Maybe you might go into one of the bliss states. Maybe you get the seed of enlightenment in the future. But you'll understand much more about such teachings of emptiness and non-self. And don't think you can't do it. Each one of you has the ability to get to the very end. The Buddha said the only people who cannot get the deep meditations, who cannot get the insight, who are prohibited from entering into the house of enlightenment, are people who have killed their mother, murdered their father, or raped a nun, or shed the blood of a Buddha, or caused a schism in the Sangha. Are there anyone here who has done any of those things? No. Which means that each one of you is free to attain the highest. So I'm encouraging you. You can do it. And don't think that, oh, I'm a new meditator. I've never meditated much before. This is my first retreat. How can someone like me do these things? In the time of the Buddha, sometimes there was one character who was ordained as he got placed in the Buddha in the morning. He ordained him as a novice before lunch. In the afternoon and the evening, he ordained him as a full monk. And by the evening, he was an arahat. One day. So, if you can do it, why not you? I say those things just to give you encouragement, because faith and confidence is so important. So please, as I try and take this retreat to the very highest, I want you to have confidence. I want you to follow the instructions. The instructions you hear here are not specific, they're general. It doesn't matter what meditation object. It doesn't matter what meditation object you choose. It doesn't matter what type of meditation you do. It doesn't matter, you don't have to do breath meditation if you've done another meditation before, but it's the general theme of the meditation which I'll be stressing here. A going in, a letting go, allowing happiness to arise, an abandoning of past and future, a silence in the mind, a going deep and seeing further. The general theme applies to all types of meditation. Respect meditation, loving kindness meditation, the secret meditation, or whatever meditation. In fact, it's all the same type of meditation. The different objects, which is like with different packaging, inside, it's all the same. I remember when I was a student, I got a job working for the post office at this time of the year, Christmas in London, because the post office needed extra staff. And I was working in the sorting office. And one of the senior postmen said, go outside and empty the post boxes. In this post office in London, there were 3 slots for the mail. One was for local mail, for London. The other one was for the rest of the country, UK, and the third one was for international mail, so that people, the public, could put the different letters into the different boxes to help the sorters. What a great idea. So when I entered it, they gave me the key and a sack. When I entered it, I found those 3 holes all led into the same bin. Now that's a metaphor. On the outside, it may seem that you're doing metta meditation, or vipassana, or you're doing breath meditation, or you're doing body contemplation. It's just like 4 holes all leading into the same bin. On the outside it looks different, but I know it's all going in the same direction. So different packaging, that's all. A different flavour of ice cream, but it's all ice cream. So, understanding that, we don't need to say, oh, should I do this meditation, should I do that meditation? Do the meditation which you are comfortable with. In that way, you get happiness, you get peace, you get depth in the meditation, you get insight, you get experience for yourself which goes beyond belief. It's not just believing what people say, you see it for yourself. You experience it for yourself. And that becomes fun. So this is what the meditation retreat is going to be. You've seen the schedule over there in the books. I'll be giving a talk every evening. I just scribbled down, before I came in here, the subject of the talk. Have you got that? I just use these out. We're going to probably write them down later on. You can see it's a gradual, you don't have to write it out, they'll probably be printed out later on. This is just a gradual deepening of meditation. The evening talks are going to be on meditation. Tomorrow night I'm going to talk about the 2 types of meditation. On Sunday, mindfulness, how to empower your mind. This third night, on the Monday, the way we look at life. The 5 indices. And the Tuesday, the 21st, letting go of letting go. Letting go. Abandoning attachment. And the 22nd, leaving behind the world as you know it. Entering the jhanas. And Thursday, life is not what it seems. In other words, seeing things as they truly are. That's in fact. And on the Friday, there's no one at home. Anatta. And lastly, on the Saturday, the end of the journey, Nibbana. So these are a gradual series of talks, getting you deeper and deeper and deeper into the meditation. Maybe I might outstrip you in the talks, talking about things which are much higher than you've experienced, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to pull you along and put seeds in the mind. You can maybe bear fruit, not on this retreat, but later on. Those are going to be the evening talks. In the morning session is supposed to be a talk. Tomorrow morning I'm going to give a talk on the nuts and bolts of meditation, because in the morning it's usually for the people who are meditating here. In the evening we've got guests coming in as well. But only for the first morning will I give a formal talk. The mornings after that, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. For Q&A, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some paper and leave a box outside so that people can put their questions on the piece of paper and I can answer them. But please, those questions which will start to be answered on the Sunday morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning, Saturday morning, those questions I want just for meditation. I don't want any questions of what can I do about my children who are not behaving. No questions about, I've lost my job, what should I do next? Just keep the questions just focused on meditation, not on other matters of life. When I talk, we can talk about the ordinary matters of life, but here on this retreat, I want to focus on one thing and one thing only, the way of meditation, going in and seeing the Dhamma for yourselves. And actually being able to ask questions, it helps because when we have our interviews, some of those questions people ask in an interview, sometimes when I teach retreats, they ask a question and I give the answer. The next person comes into the interview, they ask the same question and I give the same answer. When a third person comes in, they ask the same question, I give the same answer. How wouldn't it be better to ask the question in public? So I give that answer once and have an easy time as a teacher. So, this is why that I'm offering this morning session, not tomorrow morning, starting on Sunday, but question and answers on pieces of paper, or if you have the courage, to get up to the microphone and ask those questions. So your question will not only help yourself, it will also help others. That's what we mean by compassion. And compassion is both the path and the goal of Buddhism. Remember that Buddha was the compassionate one. All types of Buddhism, remember that. And if the compassion is the goal, compassion has to be the path. So please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to others. Remember the Buddha and compassion, softness, kindness. You lead yourself gently along the Eightfold Path. You don't force yourself along this Eightfold Path. Gentleness. Gentleness is the fastest way. If you really want to get to enlightenment quickly, then be kind, be gentle, be soft. Like a Buddha. Gentleness, softness is part of letting go. It's part of giving up attachments, craving, ill will. Be soft, be kind. If you're so soft and kind, the Buddha will come to you. Peace will come to you. Wisdom will come to you. You don't need to chase it. If you're kind. So this is the path we're going to be following in this retreat. And if you are kind to the mind, I can finish with a little story. There's a story which many of you have known in the past, the story of Nandi Visala, the ox. Remember that story from Dhamma school as children? Long time ago, before the time of Walt Disney, there was oxes who could talk. In fact, I think that Walt Disney got the idea of talking animals from the Jataka tales. And one of those Jataka tales, which also appears in the Vinaya Pitaka, is one of the oldest of those Jataka tales, concerned this ox called Nandi Visala. Not only could Nandi Visala the ox speak, but also he was wise and compassionate. And he looked at his poor elderly owner, this old farmer, who'd been working so hard all his life with a small plot of land, only being able to grow just enough food to feed himself and his family. He was getting so old, he should be retiring. In fact, he should have retired some time ago. But how can you retire when you've got no funds, no money, no resources to keep your family going. And so Nandi Visala, out of compassion and wisdom, went up to his old master and said, Master, you've been working so hard all these years. It's about time you retired. He said, how can I? If I don't work, who can feed my wife and family? And Nandi Visala said, I have a plan. I can get you enough money so you can retire in comfort and spend the rest of the days as you should, just at home, going to the temple, being at peace in your old age. How can you do that? Said the master. But listen, I'm a strong ox. I'm a big fellow. I, Nandi Visala, am the strongest ox in the whole of India. I can pull 100 carts tied together, all full of stones. And the master said, don't boast. No ox can pull that weight. I can, said Nandi Visala the ox. Now listen, I want you to go to this man in the town who is so wealthy and make a bet, a wager, that my ox, Nandi Visala, can pull 100 carts all tied together in full of stones. He won't believe it's possible. And because of that, and because it is possible, we can win. Let's not say $1,000. Let's not say $10,000. Let's say $50,000. So you can retire in happiness and peace. And so the master believed his ox. And he went to a rich man of the village, and he said, I bet you $50,000. Yes, of course, not to the penny. 50,000 that I can pull 100 carts, all tied together and full of rocks. And the rich man said, listen, no ox can do that, but my ox can. Look, I'm telling you, you can't. Yes, I can. I bet you 50,000. Okay, you're wrong. And he accepted the bet. Now, even one farmer doesn't have 100 carts. They have to borrow the carts from other villages. So everybody in the village, in the town, had to get involved. They got the 100 carts, they tied them together, and all the people helped to load all these carts with stones and rocks. And they tied Nandi Visala, the ox, to a front cart. And then the farmer got up. With everybody watching, with 50,000 at stake. The farmer said, come on, Nandi Visala, you stupid ox, pull these carts. And what happened? Nothing at all. The ox stood still. Listen, pull these ox, pull these carts, you stupid beast. Nandi Visala stood still. He got out the stick, if you don't pull these carts, I'll hit you. Nandi Visala didn't move. Everybody started to laugh. No ox could pull such a weight. And the farmer hit the ox, not once, several times. But still the ox didn't pull. Everybody laughed at the foolish farmer. No ox could pull such a weight. The farmer gave up. He'd lost $50,000. He didn't know how he could pay $50,000. His small farm wasn't even worth that much. He was ruined. He was bankrupt. He was done for. So he went to a tree. He leaned against the tree and started crying. As he was crying, he felt something cold and wet in his ear. He looked around to see who owned this cold and wet nose. And when he turned around, he found it was owned by Nandi Visala, his ox. And Nandi Visala said, why are you crying, master? Because of you, said the master. Why, said the ox? Because you said you can pull all those carts and you can't. But I can. No, you can't. Why I can, then why didn't you? And the ox said, because you call me stupid. Because you call me a beast. Because you hit me. That's why I didn't put it. You didn't treat me nicely. The farmer realized his mistake and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize." And so the ox said, "Listen, we can try plan B. You go back to that rich man, and this time you bet him 100,000 that I, Nandi Visala, the strongest ox in the whole of India, let alone India, the whole of the world, can pull 100 carts to the stone. They're still there, they haven't unloaded them yet. Go back." So he went back, made a bet, this time 100,000. Nandi Visala was tied to the front. The master, the farmer, got up to the front. And this time he said, "Oh dear ox, kind ox, friendly ox, if it's not too much trouble, please put it. If it's too much trouble, forget it, doesn't matter. I don't want you to spoil your day." He was so kind to the ox, that the ox started pulling. His veins stood out on his haunches. You could see that sweat starting to appear on his brow. He was pulling like no other ox had ever pulled in the history of the world. What happened? Nothing. "Oh, it doesn't matter," said the farmer. "But don't try too hard. Let it go. It's all right. I don't want you to suffer." And those kind words, that ox pulled even harder. This time harder than any ox had ever pulled in the whole universe. One time was the earth, this time was the universe. And he struggled, sweat was pouring off, and what happened? Nothing. "Oh look, it's impossible," said the farmer. "It doesn't matter. I'll never get angry at you again. You tried your very best. We can't do more than your best. Leave it alone. Never mind. Compassion is the most important. We're still friends. You were so kind." The Nandi Visala the ox gave one last pull, and this time he pulled stronger, more powerfully than any ox has ever pulled in this 1,000-fold universe over many eons. And this time there was a slight tweak. Very soft at first. For those of you who know the laws of friction, know that once you get things started, it gets easier and easier to pull them. The wheels started moving. First of all in the front cart, then in the second cart. Once you got these things going, you could pull them still hard but much easier. Everybody was clapping and cheering. And Nandi Visala kept on pulling until, according to the way the Buddha taught it, the last cart was now standing where the first cart once was. He pulled those carts, and the farmer won his bet. He owed 50,000 from the first bet. He had 100,000 from this one, which meant 50,000 profit. He could retire, and Nandi Visala could live at peace. In that simile, it's a simile for, in this context, meditation. Calm your mind, pull the 1,000 carts, and get into deep meditation. If you get up in the mind, you say, "Come on, stupid mind, what's the breath?" And you hit yourself, "Look, you better sleep again." That's. Will your mind ever get into deep meditation? No. Instead, when you start meditating, you say, "Dear mind, kind mind, if it's not too much trouble, if you can't do it, it doesn't matter. You can please watch your breath. Please, it doesn't matter, if you can't do it, don't worry." And then you'll find, like Nandi Visala, your mind will start to pull. And if you fail, and you get sleepy, you get restless, "Oh, never mind. It's okay, let go. You can still be friends." And then you find your mind will pull harder to get into deep meditation. And you'll fail again. You say, "Oh, never mind, it's okay." Be kind, be soft, and you'll find like Nandi Visala. Your mind will pull into deep meditation more than any mind has ever pulled in the thousand-fold universe over many eons. You move the mind away from the attachments. You move on the path called the Eightfold Path. And soon, though once you were a lay person, now you'll be a noble one. Through kindness. That is how you meditate. Like a farmer putting under his father to kill the ox. Your mind is stubborn, it's heavy, it's weighted down with attachments. This is how you succeed. So don't be like the farmer at first, hitting yourself, calling yourself stupid, calling yourself a beast, saying, oh, I can't do it. You can't. And that way, you will be able now to go into deep meditation. When you go home to your husband or your girls, you want to get into do things. Oh, dear husband, kind husband, this is not too much. You'll know the psychology of getting around a person. Oh, dear wife, kind wife, it's not too much. Now that kindness is more powerful, and that's what the story means. So this is a kind retreat, a deep retreat, a peaceful retreat, an insightful retreat. It will take a lot of effort and energy being still. This is the effort to let go. The striving to end striving. It is the power coming from stillness. And in this direction, you will find after a while, in fact, those first parts moving. It's hard at first. Sometimes be many days before you find that first creak. The mind starts to be peaceful. But once the main friction has been overcome, you find the meditation gets easier and easier. And the meditation starts to roll as easy as the cart. So, that is the meditation path. I'll be saying more tomorrow. So stay tuned. There's more coming next. That's just an introduction. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.